save that for Saturday night. Don't come pull up on me talking bad about my team days after the fact. Are you crazy?
I wasn't gonna say nothing, but you started doing and your team about to be at home too. And your
Listen,
team yo too.
but the clear blue sky that you pulled it out from, we weren't even talking basketball. We weren't talking, oh yeah, and I meant to ask about the Celtics and how you think you should have asked about it then when I was mourning. Hello,
Man,
Top Nation.
anyway.
Hello, Top Nation.
This is the chop up.
Tell them.
I am Damo the political plug. I'm here with my dog, Toya G. We here on this Saturday. I know typically y'all see us at night during the week, but we getting it in real quick right here.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Hopefully, y'all's weekend is going well. We appreciate y'all sliding on us. Definitely want you to do what you normally do, which is speak when you come in, say what's up, let us know how you doing, how you feeling. Today is all about celebrities. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think we really have a lot to, think about and consider in terms of the role they play, the things that they contribute to our day-to-day lives and the value that they hold. And especially now more than ever, whether it's politics, indirectly or directly, right? Like there's a celebrity effect that we kind of got to get into. So, of course, the Consciously is not necessarily here today, but we'll be back in the mix with us. So shout out to my dog Lee, in his absence. But you always gonna get a piece of some of us. You know what I'm saying? If not all of us, all three of us at the same time, you're gonna get a sample serving of the whole crew. So with that, as y'all come in, as y'all say what's up, like I said, happy Saturday to you. Let's go ahead and get it rolling. The Met Gala is where I want to start in our conversation. And really, even before we get, I guess, directly to the Met Gala, I think it is fair to say, and Plug, you can tell me if you agree or disagree with this, but we are changing our relationship and our orientation toward the celebrity. Now, some, right, and we already know the celebrities post on pop culture. They either are on the post of it and reflect it, or they're creating it, right? They're the ones catalyzing what we're into and what we care about. We know that historically celebrities have both been, movers of a culture and of a society, or influencers of it, but also of politics, right? Like we can't separate the history and the legacy of celebrities kind of having, different things to say. One of my favorite things, and I don't remember the name of this particular actor at the time or actress at the time, but it was some big award show, and she got up and spoke on behalf of indigenous folks and on Native folks and really took up space, right, in a platformed nature, right, and used her voice to really amplify messages. And we've just seen that across the board, right? So many examples of Black celebrities, trans folks, queer folks really taking their time in the limelight to point to different things that matter. Yes, we are live. Shout out to Jay Palvey. I don't know how to pronounce your name specifically. I think we went through this last time, but what's good with you? Good to have you back in the mix. But celebs, baked into the cake, baked into the fiber of what Americans do and the decisions Americans make and the ways that they're influenced. At this stage, in a 2026 America, right? I go back to COVID all the time. We saw a tweet that was like, we just know too much about each other, right? I remember that being like, when the COVID happened, when things were shut down, everybody took to their devices, including celebrities. And all of a sudden, it really added an extra layer to the hyper visible lives that they live. It gave us sneak peeks. Sometimes we were shown too much. They were volunteering up information that was too much. We heard too much from them. Yeah. And so one of the major criticisms of celebrity culture now is like, there's no mystique. There's no secret. There's no illusion. There's no, question about what you believe in, so much so to the fact that what you believe in kind of forces me to second guess whether I want your product, right? Yeah. Like you are narrating your real thoughts and your real feelings and your real sentiments in real time.
Right.
And I don't know if I like that. So I don't know if I like you. And I don't know if I can listen to your music the same way, watch you the same way on screen, et cetera, et cetera. So
I don't like them. I don't.
Like I was already on the fence about, other humans and how much care and how much I love and attention I give. Like that was always something I was perplexed by, right? Just from the purview of my own self-worth and self-value. Not that other people don't have it. They have faves and they stand and stuff like that. That's you. But social media and the world of 24-hour access and sensationalizing, platforms and humanizing your brand and getting out there with the people has only turned me off more. For some people, it's only turned up their parasocial appetite. They only want to consume more. They love the fact that they can constantly take in what you do, what you think, where you going, what you wearing, what you doing, what you listening to, what you eating, right? They love that even more. And so it's an interesting kind of paradox to be a part of, just as a member of a society, to take in, to look at. And I think that's what gets me to the Met Gala, because just like any important or significant moment where celebrities are being platformed, people are going to be paying attention. What you wearing, what you doing, what's going on. But we know the Met Gala is not, even similar to award shows. In some sense, it is, a gala that has a purpose, that is there to meet a need. So, like,
Celebrity prom.
that's what they call it on the surface, celebrity homecoming. But it's a
Yeah.
whole lot more. So for people who are just like, I always, like me, who I just had to do my research, because you're like, I always hear about the Met Gala. Every year I hear about it. It's a big thing. Everybody's talking outfits, talking this, that, and the other, but I don't really understand what the purpose of it is. Let me tell you. So the Met Gala is hosted by the Metropolitan Museum of Art. And it the museum has different departments and different programs, and the Museum Institute, as a part of that institute, is the only one who has to come up with its own funding, right? So the Met Gala is created to allow for them to be self-sustaining, to allow for them to stimulate funds and revenue that allow for them to carry on projects and teach and inspire the newest innovators in fashion and design and things like that. So every year there's a theme. This year's theme was fashion is art. And that theme included not only a goal of people using fashion as art, so using clothing and really kind of being creative in the ways they always are about how they represent that artistically, but it highlighted disabled artists, right? One of the thematic goals that they had was to really platform disabled artists, so that they can have greater stake in what is represented. What's up, Vegas girl? In the larger, display of outfits. To be clear, the co-chairs are Jeff Bezos, Nicole Kidman, Beyonce, Venus Williams.
Boo. Well, not boo Beyonce, not boo Beyonce, but Jeff Bezos boo.
I
I mean,
mean, but
but Beyonce being on a board with Jeff Bezos, like I boo her
Venus
for that.
Williams, you know what I'm
I'm
saying? We
booing
talking
all of
about
them for that. Yeah.
right? So these are the co-chairs. To be clear, how much do you know how much a ticket to the Met is?
How much is the ticket to the Met?
How much is it? You guess. How much you think a ticket
Hundred
to the Met is?
thousand. A
A
hundred
hundred
thousand.
thousand? It might as well be, because it's $75,000 a ticket.
75,000.
Um,
Okay.
Typically either designers or celebrities themselves pay for those tickets. If designers want their art to be displayed on a particular celebrity, they might ask that celebrity to wear their business, to wear their art or whatever.
So
And
the
actually, I
designer
think,
will pay the celebrities
if
to
I'm not
pay for the
mistaken,
celebrities ticket, and they'll wear their outfit because they paid for their ticket.
that's how it goes.
Gotcha.
Or certain celebrities who are invited on guest lists get to come and then wear whatever fashions they see fit as well. And kind of, so either way it goes, to get in that thing, somebody paying $75,000 a head, right?
Yeah.
So sure, the Met Gala, now we know, is not just the prom for celebrities, but rather an opportunity for people to invest in programming that is not funded, that I guess gives access and platform and space to the next innovators of design, of fashion, of the overlapping of worlds and themes and
Mm.
such. People who just are in their design bag, and that it is highlighting people who are marginalized typically in these types of spaces. And I would assume that during different years, maybe they highlight different types of artists. I'm not sure. I'm just kind of getting, familiar, but maybe they focus on different groups of people. I guess my question is, what's up, Angel? What's good with you? In terms of people who care about the Met Gala, because our timelines transform. I don't know about you, but from the time the Met Gala starts to it ends, I'm getting commentary, pictures, posts, things like that. Is it dumb that people care about that shit? Like, do you feel like it's stupid that, in a pop culture sense, rich people paying money to other rich people? Because I'm going to be critical of my own stance, right? Yes, a program that is underfunded or not funded by the Metropolitan Museum of Art gets money. Y'all got, it's money floating around all around that shit. Nobody's going penniless, hungry, without things. So even then, it's rich people doing rich people shit for other rich people.
Yeah.
Right. And so that's not lost on me. But like, do you feel like people should care? Like, or do you feel like we stupid? And it's kind of another example of how we fall for the elitists and the elites doing the posh thing that elites do that we would never be able to gain access to, which kind of just proves how silly it is that we care anyway. What's your take?
Toya. Toya. I need to look into the camera to say this and be I gotta be emphatic. This is the dumbest shit that we give our attention to.
Okay.
The dumb. I seen a I should have pulled it up, but I seen a meme, or not even a meme, but just like a tweet, because The Rock showed up wearing a $3 million watch, like some $3 million Philippe Patek, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and under it, when people was just like commenting about just like how like, oh my god, it's so expensive, whatever. Somebody was like, bro, the last time wealth inequality was this bad, it was a revolution.
Hmm.
Shit changed. People did something, you know what I mean? Like it was when you saw when you look at what the world is dealing with, we talking about prices going crazy.
Yeah.
Prices up there, food prices is up there. You know what I mean? Cost of living just generally is up there. We have a housing of and housing affordability crisis, and
Yes.
affordability crisis period.
Yes.
I mean, whether schools needing funding, entire communities that are losing access to healthcare, or entire groups of people who are losing access to healthcare. It's like all like we could just go down the
It's a
list
lot of
of
deficits.
things.
It's a lot of deficits. It's a lot of deficits.
And I want to say this: it's not to say that because bad things are happening that we shouldn't do things where we enjoy ourselves, but the fact that the people, the stuff that the bad things are happening to, they get caught up in watching just crazy amounts of wealth frivolously just doing rant, just going to dances. I mean, or it's not a
Yeah.
dance, but it's a gala. You know what I mean? But it's like our attentions are dominated by it, and we end up. You got more people who are interested in what such and such has on the on whatever red carpet than the fact that black voters are being disenfranchised.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's like it's celebrity culture has dominated our attention to the degree that what we really need to be focused on, like the things that really should matter to us, gets left behind to be like who had on what outfit at the red carpet. And it's like, and even you could say what's for a good cause, it's for a program at the Met, whatever. Fuck the Met. I'm gonna keep it a stack. Fuck the Met. The museum culture and all that shit is built off of what's the word, taken away from, which is the term that I'm gonna use,
Mm-hmm.
because I can't think of the word I wanted to use. It's taken away from like other people, other cultures, other places, so that white people could come and take a look at it. You know what I'm saying? Like the Met, like the Met is an example of white people displaying other cultures and other people's shit and other. You know what I mean? Like it's not. We talking about places like New York, affordability crisis. You got Mom Donnie doing this thing. Shout out to Mom Donnie. But it's just like we should be outraged by what's going on in the world right now. The red carpet should never be a priority. It should never dominate timelines, especially when we are living in the America that we living in. And so I find it extremely frustrating that we get to see wealth being flaunted like that in our faces, and then we take it in like it's like entertainment for us. I find that shit ridiculous.
I mean, so okay. Would you suggest that people not? And I'm looking for Max. If you can find the Chris Smalls video that Leah posted.
Pilfer. I'm sorry, Toya. Pilfer was the word I was looking for. That pilfer, like museums pilfer,
Yes.
the artifacts and the art and the culture of other places to build their collections. And so yes, all of that museum shit is a part of colonization. But continue.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. No, I'm thinking of, because my question becomes like, is it enough? Because this not one of the things that really kind of bothers me. I won't say bothers me because it's not like I'm out here doing something and trying to activate people to do something and like not be bothered anymore. But we just like let it happen. Like we should be frustrated, but I think we are so inundated with all of the not even like, what am I trying to say? I think not inundated is not the word, but I think mesmerized. We have fallen for the trap and for the rules of celebrity, of glamour, of prestige, of power. We've taken the onus and responsibility. We never really properly put the onus or responsibility of people who get our money and get our attention to actually have to do anything.
Have to
And I
do
think,
anything. Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Like, you don't have to do nothing to keep us, to hold us, to maintain our attention. And so we like watch it and are so caught up in what we see and talking about that we end up really taking our eye off the ball in terms of other things happening. Right now, you already mentioned, like, we're not saying you can't enjoy things, but I think to some extent there is no line that we have to say, like you said, a revolution should have been kicked off now. So we should not only be frustrated with these individuals, but should we not be making demands on them? And also, should we not be being disruptive of these events? I think that's what I'm trying to walk myself to. Like, at some point, us as the viewer, us as the consumer, one, have to have higher expectations for the people that we give attention to. Like, yeah, you sing good, you act so good, you play so good, and that is cool. But what do you do beyond that? And should we even have that expectation for you? Right? We have a class of celebrities that say, I just want to be able to come in here and do my thing, whatever my thing is, and go.
Right.
I don't
Right.
want that responsibility. I don't have that expectation of myself. I'm not coming here to do that. But the question still remains, like, should that be what you got to do to get in and be cool, to have something to say? Because you in rooms we'll never get in. You in spaces we'll never get to. You have conversations with people that we'll never talk about. And so it's almost a like slap in the face and a missed opportunity oftentimes. And so, and that's why, let me see, Max is in the chat. Let me see if he talked
I
to
got
us.
it. I got it. I got to pull it
Yeah,
up.
you got the video of whether or not we should be disruptive in these spaces. Now, to be fair, I think the narrative behind what we're about to see with Chris Miles, and if you don't know who Chris Miles is, he is one of the primary. Hold the video real quick. Chris Miles is or the one of the lead unionizers over at Amazon, who about 4 years ago, he doesn't work there anymore, but was like integral to spearheading the unionization efforts that are happening over at Amazon. Now, of course, he doesn't work there, but started one of the biggest unions, has been a part of a lot of other unionizing efforts across the country, was a part of he was on the flotilla of resources that was being sent to Palestine. So he also understands the power and importance of not only people and employees unionizing, but people unionizing and working together to amplify demands and make demands on regimes of power, to resist, to fight, to come up with, innovative strategies to kind of make demands. And so he has been on the neck of Jeff Bezos ever since that whole, dust up with Amazon. And over time has like been very intentional about letting him know, we're not letting you off. You know what I'm saying? You're not about to be able to get away with shit easy. You're not about to not hear us. You're not about to hear from us. And so I believe in this particular situation, he was just chilling. He was there to be a presence. And I think he's communicated to Jeff Bezos, wherever you go, I'm going to be there looking for you, waiting for you, reminding you that I ain't forgot, and that you can't just silence us or shut us up and ignore us. So that is a air quote threat that he's made. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, as a result, and we're gonna play this Jennifer Lewis clip. Give us a second. We definitely got you on that. We come around the corner on that. But for now, I want to watch this clip just of Chris Miles to show how intimidated they are when you come, and when your very presence starts to challenge the power that they start to move around, how fidgety they get, because it was no reason in the world for his very presence, just being at the Met Gala, to trigger his arrest, to trigger him being pulled out of an audience or a group of people and, arrested and detained just because of what he is.
My fault. You ready?
You good.
Yeah.
Who is? Holy shit, what happened? Y'all, it's a brawl. Y'all, it is. Guys, it's a brawl going on.
So it was, if y'all can see off in the corner, I'm gonna mute it and let it play. But if y'all can see off in the corner, that's Chris Smalls being arrested by NYPD for being there. Now, again, this isn't a situation where, there was something that he had done, or that he was harassing, or, he was disrupting any other. He was there, his presence. And like Toya pointed out, Jeff Bezos is on the on whatever board that runs the Met. So when Jeff Bezos says get him up out of there, the NYPD pull up and protect the people that they always meant to protect. Because I think what's egregious about watching this is that again, this is somebody who helped form a labor union, right? What's the purpose of labor unions? In order to ensure that workers receive the proper rights, proper pay, you know what I'm saying, proper protection, safety.
And I mean, it's also said that unions are an extension of democracy, right? They are the more one of the more material ways that we can demonstrate what it means to have equitable representation, to really hear from everybody and to have them influence at a more microcosmic level a business, an organization, an institute, a corporation. And so, in the name of equity, right, you kind of want unions. Unions are a good thing because they help us to embody the very principle that makes the core up of
Right.
what our country is supposed to be, shaped by. And we don't really necessarily get to actualize democracy in our real lives, in our real political processes. Shit like the electoral college, right, leaves things like democracy really questionable because my voice and my vote didn't count for shit, depending on what these people in the electoral college say, what my electorate says. But at least on my job, I know that if I tell my union and I pay my union dues and I cast this ballot, I cast this vote, that what the things that happen are a direct reflection of what I want, right? And so that then becomes the same for people who deal with wage gap disparities, like women and queer folk, and trans folk and queer people who work in certain positions. This shortens the gap for people with disabilities, people with different citizenship statuses. It kind of allows for them to be equally represented in the places that they work in, right? So union shit is important.
And I think though, like as we watch this, there's symbolism that's here, right? Because Chris representing the worker, right? Chris representing the people. The celebrities, the photographers, the paparazzi, all of that, they represent the celebrity class. They represent the elite class. Look at how the pageantry continues while you're literally seeing the abuse of somebody who represents the people. That is a there's nothing that exemplifies that divide than what we see right here. Right? You see a brief like, oh, what's happening over there? Oh, Rihanna. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's this is why I mean, if y'all been watching the Chop Up for a while, if y'all watch me on YouTube at all, you will understand. Like, y'all know how I feel about celebrity culture. I think it's the reason why a lot of the circumstances that we still have to deal with today is because celebrity culture, because what we value, right? And we can get into I'm gonna try not to get into a rant about capitalism. Because like most rants about society either devolve into a question of race, sex, or class. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like that's that. That's where we see the oppression coalesce. That's where we see these things take place. And so, what we're seeing is the elite class give not really care. I got company with me, so I can't just be talking all type of crazy. But we see the elite class not caring about what happens to the people, because this is what happens. We see poverty, we see access, we see a lack of access to resources, we see a lack of access to all type of stuff, but we see the photogs don't stop.
I mean, and this is where the choices get to be made, right? So when you start to, really want to have a favorite celebrity, or you want to have a fave, or you want to idolize or be into this type of culture, I think this is where it's the most stark representation of how the shit is just never really about you. Because I get it, a big event is going on, things are happening, but in a moment where we can really stop and really scratch the record on all of that and put the cameras over here and put the mics over here and put the attention over here and start really having a meaningful conversation and lean into the disruption as opposed to just using it as something to be dismissed, right? That is a chance for us to stop stuff. But you know who gets to make that call? The celebrity who says, no, wait a minute, what's going on? Like, imagine how significant the moment could be if you walking up the stairs and you holding your gown ever so lightly and you kind of tiptoeing, there's chaos afoot over to the side, and you stop everything. Officers, think about it. Right? How many black people have said the code is now when we see another black person getting pulled over, we're gonna stop because we know the cops is kind of on some weird shit. So we gonna stop everything that's happening and look in and make sure everything cool. If celebrities took that code and recognized that police are out here typically, of course, it's some high commodities, it's some expensive people walking around there. So you don't want to make sure any old body is just doing whatever. Right. But in the instance where it's disruption and shit like that, the police is carrying somebody away. Hold on, everybody stop, hold your cameras. What's going on, officers? Yeah. Is everything going? Like, I dare you to be that audacious. You know what I'm saying? To be that in tune with how police misconduct typically plays out. To be that, but like that takes a lot of second and third level critical thinking.
No, I mean, right? Because I think like Doya, think about the point you just made though. Yeah. How significant would that be? If Rihanna's ass was like, hold on, what is that? What's happening over there?
Yeah.
And she took her, what are y'all doing? And those cameras turned. You know what I'm saying? And they and all of those flashes that we saw were
I
taking
mean,
into account what was just like what was happening. You know what I mean? It goes completely ignored because it's just cleaning up the trash to them. That's why I can't. I struggle with embracing, even looking at celebrities with the type of reverence that people look at them with. I can appreciate a good movie. I can appreciate a good song, a good
yeah.
poem, a good book. You know what I mean? But you as a person, I can't respect it because as much as the world has given you, and as much as the people have given you, what you give back to those same people that make you who you are is nothing.
And so this is what I think too, when you talk about that, and this kind of goes with Trevor's comment that was just up there. It also is celebrities who will have something to say, but it's like you have shit to say when it don't matter.
When it does
So
not matter.
now it's kind of really hard to even take you at your word or give you the respect that you kind of out here fishing for, because we know we have celebrities. Everybody's not completely cold hearted, completely, detached in the normative sense. They'll make a post, they'll make some commentary here. But like Trevor said, I see SZA reposting about the voting rights being ripped away, but not saying anything on the Met carpet. How do you feel about that line? And I feel like that, line of thinking, that approach to doing the thing is exactly where the problem is, right? Yeah, you do have your own personal platform. You can post little stuff on your stories. You can drop a tweet, but when that mic is in your face, like what you talking about? And I think that's what makes it more frustrating to see those types of celebrities. I'd rather you just be detached and then your own little bubble and then your own little world and not act like you care than to act like you care over here. But then, like, same thing, the criticism with LeBron James, right? A lot of our athletes of our time made some hard stances, made some hard decisions, didn't participate in certain things, couldn't go and play in certain places, this, that, and the other. LeBron James got free reign over the whole wide world, and he picks and chooses when he want to stand on business and be about what he's about. But when it's time for like the league to take action, when it's time for the league to maybe, for him to have a chance to say, tonight we not playing. Tonight, you know what I'm saying? ICE officer shot people, killed him in cold day. We're not coming out the locker room.
We're not taking the court. We're not taking the field.
You know what I'm saying? Like, when you got a chance to do some real cool stuff, you don't do shit. And that's why it's just like, it's hard to latch on to whatever form of activism or signal boosting or virtue signaling you try to give, because when we really need it to be a thing, it's nothing.
And you know, and that's why what's frustrating about like leftist positions and progressive positions is the accessibility to commodification. Like how easy it is to get the social credit for having certain progressive stances, but not do it. You have that influence, right? Like when we talk about whatever social issue, that's one thing, right? Because like as regular people, like our dialogue, our like what we do is like the idea is that the dialogue that we generate kind of spurs these small actions that lead to the greater change, right? Like in order to get a big shift, it requires small changes in understanding. Small, like we big on ontology and epistemology. You know what I mean? Like how do we understand who we are, what we are, and how do we understand how we know what we are? Right? Where did this come from? And those questions, like what we do specifically is we have conversations that help facilitate asking those questions, right? Why is this important? Why is celebrity culture important? You know what I mean? And I think what we get where we're starting to get to is we're starting to have a conversation about why it's so dangerous.
Yeah.
Look at what was happening. Like look at the police harass one man at the behest of a billionaire, a man that represents a union, a man that represents labor rights. Look at how he gets treated at a celebrity event. And these same people will turn around and tell you, like, nah, they care. Like, or they'll turn around and be like, well, it ain't my responsibility, whatever. But the people with the accessibility, with the access to power, with the access to resources, choose to do what the Met Gala did and not pay attention until it's convenient.
All right, so in the world of Switch Side, right, if y'all don't know what Switch Side is, it is your ability to argue from multiple sides of a particular issue to make sure that you kind of really covering the scope and scale of it, and doing your due diligence, right, to speak through the intricacies and the nuances of an issue. I'm also forced to kind of reckon with, as we make these criticisms of celebrities and what they do and don't do, and the lack of timeliness with a lot of things, with the politics of celebrity. Right, because we can't forget that these people are not stupid and don't always forget where they come from. But you got PR reps, you got managers, you have people who a lot of what you do and how you move get filtered through. And that's the commodity. The sucky part about being a commodity is that, you know, you have people who will stand up and make a hint of a statement or a hint of a stance, and then their comments get blown up and they get told that, you know what I'm saying, they should have never said no shit about nothing, or that they need to stay in their place, or they need to stay out of politics, or they, you know what I'm saying, you just need to stick to doing this, that, and the other. And so when you think about, you know, when you got somebody constantly reminding you that you don't want to lose a brand deal, or that you don't want to deal with the blowback of, you know, being the person of the hour, the celebrity of the hour, and that, you know what I'm saying, if you say this thing, then the liberals going to be in your comments. If you say this thing, then the conservatives going to be in your comments. If you say this thing, then all of the queer lovers and all the trans lovers is going to be, you know what I'm saying? Like, you really do you're constantly having to be a parrot and a puppet. Right? Because you don't make most of your money. And here's the other side of it, the deeper side of it. You don't even make most of your money off of your art.
Your art, yeah.
Right? You don't make your money off of like the albums that you sell. You don't make the money. That money's going back to the record company. That money is going back to the distributor. That money is going to the writers, people getting royalties off that shit. You making money off the deals you get from the art you made. Right? The art that you actually made in terms of a movie, or in terms of, you know, an album or some songs and shit like that, that's going back to the thousands of hands that touched that thing that made it possible. You yourself as the brand is not getting bread off that song for real, unless you wrote it and produced it and mastered it and distributed it, and you independent, then you might get a bigger share. But you get your bread in this industry off of the, you know, social media deals, off the partnerships, off the collabs, off the this, that, and the other. So if you don't speak perfectly, right, and this is not excusing celebrities, but this is kind of understanding why the hell it seems so hard for you to be able to speak with your chest sometimes. It's because a lot of your existence, and because of the nature of celebrity, your mama's existence, your family's existence, your, you know, the generational wealth you're trying to set up is all jeopardized potentially if you really speak on shit, which is why, I mean, obviously top level criticism is that capitalism is the fucking worst, but also, and more importantly, right, like, it's a really fucked up game you got to play if you really want to be an artist, if you really want to be talented, if you really want to be a part. Because you know what I'm saying? Like, I can't imagine having to get up and you got to worry about what the studio's going to say and what the director's going to say and what the producer, like, and we supposed to be on a press run. And now I had one random comment on the red carpet and now that blew up the whole project. And like, nobody wants that fucking burden just because you recognize injustice and bad shit and terrible politics all at the same time. So,
but to be fair, right, and this is, and shout out to Angel, and you introduced this. This was something you, like you said, you was gonna show anyway. Is that we do have, there are celebrities that that understand what the role is. But to be clear though, like even Jennifer Lewis, Taraji P. Henson, these are like big name black celebrities, but at the same time, you know, they still sit on the periphery. Yes. Right, of a lot of shit, right? Like they're big, like they're really black famous, like Taraji P. Henson and Jennifer, it's Jennifer Lewis, right? Like them being black famous kind of gives them the ability to do this. This is why being black famous is good. Because, like you said, when they do it the other way, right, then you got to worry about how the white people gonna feel, how this executive gonna feel, how this producer gonna feel. Being black famous is like, listen. The reason why I'm big is because black people love me. Right? We love Taraji. We love Jennifer. We've loved them for years. You know what I mean?
That's my cousin and my auntie.
Exactly. So this is what black famous people have to say about the Met Gala. Not the billionaire famous, this black famous right here.
Yeah.
Okay, so I hadn't seen any of it. I had been running around all day. And then my girlfriend called and said, Jennifer, they showed up anyway. I said, but they cut nearly 30,000 jobs and gutted the Washington Post. They showed up anyway, posturing and posing, hoping to be the most. They cut $1 billion in funding for children's nutrition. And there they all were, vying for the next position. We're at war. And so many people are dying. I said to my girlfriend, tell me you're lying. How much fame do we need, y'all? How much more fame? Wow.
Now we can't. We don't want to ignore Taraji because she tweeted. She didn't actually say. She didn't even make a video. But Taraji's tweet, I can see here. She says, "I am so confused by some people that are going. I am just like, what the f are we doing?"
Yeah. Okay, so we do have some people, popping out saying their piece, making things clear. But then if you look at the comments on some different posts, like if you tweet just Taraji and see different conversations about people talking about her tweet, you'll see that people are saying it's selective outrage. And that these are performative moments where, like, I guess maybe Taraji has some products that are being sold on Amazon and accessible to their things, so that people are like, did she take her stuff off the platform? Like, what about her speaking on this? Why you got something to say about this and want to speak on this, but you didn't speak on about this award show or this particular situation? I don't hear you making comments about Iran or about, like, just basically this is all performative. So I guess my question to you all into the chat is, would it be better if celebrities just said nothing? Because I kind of implied that a little earlier. Like, do you want them to do anything and say anything, or is it always a shame and always just kind of out of place and always you ain't doing enough? Like, what is our expectation for people who have fame? Because, like, she's like, okay, after a while, fame, like, you can only have so much of that, right? Like, how much more do you need? And I would fill in the blank and say, how much more do you need before, like, you shift some energy into doing something else that fucking matters? Like, everybody knows who you are. Everybody's buying your shit. Everybody is worshiping you. You drop a picture and 1,000 comments and 1,000, you know what I'm saying? 1,000,000 this and what else? What more do you need before you do something else? And so I guess that's my question, is like, what are our expectations? Free DNA said, I don't think it's about fame. I think it has more to do with their egos. And now it can't be shut up and dribble. So it's not about fame. I guess it's about really what the fame does to people.
Yeah.
Right. And
what
I guess probably
the
self-importance that it creates, and also the detachment, right? You don't know how much a tank of gas is or how it's hitting for you. You are not being hit and affected by what's happening at the grocery store, because your person that your assistant goes and gets the shit and brings it back. So you're not seeing receipts. You're not seeing, you know what I'm saying, this, that, and the other. You kind of live very detached, very separated, very, very loosely connected to what things really look like. But then Free DNA was also just like, nah, it can't be shut up and dribble. That can't be the expectation. And we know, because that was what they told LeBron to do. That's what they often tell us to do when we have
comments.
Not
feeling that. We was
it's
not,
to shut up.
We did a show on this. This how long we've been. My fault.
You good?
Oh no, I'm saying this how long we've been doing the chop up. We did an episode about the shut up and dribble.
1,000%.
But like, I want to address as an Afro pessimist, I want to address the selective outrage part. And so what I mean by when I say that I'm an Afro pessimist is that I have a very clear perspective on the society that we exist in. And that is that everything we love and enjoy is built off the degradation of Black people. Period. There's nothing that we touch that isn't benefited by the exploitation of Black and brown people and poor people. Everything we engage ourselves in has something to do with the oppression of marginalized people and benefits from the marginalization of those people. Right. So if the standard is, what we need to be mad about, all of it, civil society as a whole, Frank Wilderson, y'all go check it out. Look him up if you want to get more in depth about it. But all of this is fucked up. There is no ethical consumption within capitalism.
True.
Right. So the whole idea of if you have a problem with racism and you take your black ass to work for your racist boss every day, that's not selective outrage. If
Correct.
you have a problem with
Correct.
capitalism, but you make $100,000 a year, that's not selective outrage.
We used
That's
to be in debates. We used to be in debates, and people are running a capitalism argument against you, which is an accusation that you prop up capitalism, and make capitalism worse, and trigger the worst parts of capitalism based on the thing you want to do, and be like, "But you're debating off of a laptop. You're debating off of an Apple computer, baby." I'm sorry. I'm still pissed off about capitalism. I still got to go to school. I still got to like work and be pretend like this is just a fucking computer when it's all said and done. So I know you really want to, but in the grander scheme of how capitalism works, yes, this is complicity in it. This is also survival in it. Exactly. And the line in between that is very, very blurry. So again, I'm not being selectively outraged because I'm talking about the larger system and structure of production, consumption, and exploitation therein. And I just so happen to like have the shit that capitalism has produced. That's called being fucked. Right. That is proof that we are fucked.
Right. You know because here's the thing. It's not what it is that you're against. It's how you show up.
Yeah.
It's not okay. If Taraji P. Henson has products on Amazon and she don't fuck with Jeff Bezos, it is what it is. If Taraji P. Henson has problems with Amazon or Jeff Bezos, and then she take her ass to his Met Gala, and she's parading herself around this area in these circles, now we have an issue. What do you show up for? When you have the opportunity to stand for something, what do you do? Because it's the reality is it is a lot to ask people to sacrifice your personal well-being, your personal self, right? Like your personal comfortability, your personal foundation, right? Your own sustainability in order for a ideological point, right? I'm against capitalism, so I'm not gonna work, right? Like that. That's asking a lot because you have to work to survive. Absolutely. I'm against capitalism, so I'm not going to use money. But you live in a society where if you want to provide for yourself, you got to use money. That's not selective outrage. That's survivability. Absolutely. But when I say I'm against capitalism, but I'm showing up at the Met Gala, when I say I'm against voter suppression, but I'm hobnobbing with politicians, I'm taking pictures with politicians.
My God.
You know what I'm saying? Like that, this selective outrage is outside of my survivability. What do I show up for?
Yeah, that's
you know what I'm saying. What am I willing to embrace? It's like, yeah, fuck, I'll go to this job that I hate, get this money that I think is evil, to pay these bills that I think are exploiting me.
Yes.
Right. But I will be goddamn if I go if I go and celebrate all of these things that I feel like I have to participate in to survive. That's the difference. It's what the Bible say. You be in the world, not of the world.
Come on, and not of. Come on.
You know what I'm saying? Be in the world, not of the world. Be involved, like be a part. Like yeah, you got to be a part of shit, but you don't have to represent it though.
That
you got to be a part of shit, but you don't have to be a cheerleader for it. You don't have to be a vanguard for it. You don't have to be one of the people that's pushing it forward.
Yes. So here's Brandon. Brandon makes a comment that I want to kind of get to because I have a question to add on to this. Brandon says the expectations have to be realistic of celebrities. I'm assuming they have platforms that can often come with a level of influence that can mean the potential for more reach. We can start there without expecting it all overnight. I agree with that. In my agreement, here is my question. Is that truly enough? Because what we see is people, Oprah, remember the Oprah and The Rock, for example, got chewed up and spit out when the fires happened in Hawaii a few years ago. I think this is right around pandemic time when the islands was on fire, and they was like, send some money, help support. You should know that this is happening. This is a big deal. Like, you know, indigenous communities on the islands are being threatened, and people was like, why don't you just send the fucking money and end it? And so that becomes a question of, is that their job? Is that their responsibility? And is there a line between, again, what we expect, right? Because our expectation is that we can start without over expecting overnight. But at the same time, it doesn't seem like celebrities are able to signal boost shit without the question being, what did you give up or what did you have to sacrifice? Which is a legitimate question. But it is really paradoxical because on one hand, if I don't say nothing, then I'm a piece of shit and now I'm terrible. And, you know, less people know about the thing because you said my platform is important. So if I'm not using my platform, then less people are benefiting from my platform. But on the other hand, if I say something, but I'm not throwing all of my salary or hundreds of thousands of dollars, because you don't get to spend my money just because I'm popular. You don't get to tell me how my money moves just because I'm famous. So you have now obligated my money to a cause that I already tried to do my due diligence for, that I already tried to do right by, but now you're going to tell me I gave, and then Lord forbid I didn't give enough, whatever you think that's supposed to be. Right now you pick apart the investment. So it's just like, it's really kind of fucked up on both sides. Like, should we have an expectation? Is that enough? Like, those are the things, those are the questions that I would ask in relationship to that. I would love to hear your take, anybody in the comments or yours, Plug. But like that, I think ends up being the question about, use your platform, use your platform. What is the bright line for that? Where does use my platform begin, and me having to be the hero, me having to be the spearhead or the poster child for this particular movement? Like, what's the fine line between that? Vegas Girl said, "Did we know if folks like Angela Bassett and Beyonce signed up as chairs before or after Bezos paid $10 million to be on the board?" That is something I don't know. Right. And I think that's information that they probably don't want people to be able to chronologize. I mean, I would dare to imagine like that stuff does exist, but like in terms of just doing my deep diving, I don't know. The question also becomes, like, you would want and have the expectation that your celebrities do their due diligence to understand the politics of other people that they do business with. They probably don't. Right? That world is not about being like, well, what did you do and when did you do it and what agreements are you making and what relationships are you better building and what money are you spending and who are you putting in place and this, that, and the other. And a lot of those conversations aren't happening when it's time to sign a contract, when it's time to decide whether somebody's going to be a part of something or not. It's not really a question of what are the politics affiliated with this thing. And only if they are ones that could be super hyper damaging to somebody else's brand for linking up or being affiliated. So you know what I'm saying? I know a lot of people are like, yeah, the people hate Jeff. Everybody hates Jeff. Jeff is an asshole. He, so whatever, we'll do it and move on with it. They take calculated risk. You know what I'm saying? So in terms of who knows when Angela Bassett and Beyonce signed up, but I also dare to believe they didn't care.
Right. I don't think Jeff Bezos signing up would have put them in a position where they wouldn't have still participated.
1000%, because then it's degrees of separation. It's how directly you kind of work with somebody or implicated by the things that they do. The way that money spent is one thing. The way that, don't forget, this is, highlighting disabled artists. This is a chance to fund a program that doesn't get it. Like, so all the other really good things about the shit end up outweighing some of the more nefarious or questionable.
That's what I was about to say. That's what I'm gonna say, because that's commodified anyway. Like as much as it's like that. Like, even I'm glad that she was able to get her shine. But it's just another way for them to be like, see, we do care about people. Like, look, we put this transgendered, handicapped person on the and I apologize if that's not the correct way to
that's
describe.
Why I think we fixed it and said disabled. We're all learning.
Disabled, right. Disabled,
in real time.
Right. Yes. Right. Checking it in real time. Y'all know how we do. Y'all know how we do. But Toya,
Brandon,
I do think
real quick. Brandon actually answered my question, and he makes a fair point. I just want to highlight it because he had that comment about like, we should at least start from somewhere. He says that's why I'm saying those who speak up. For those who speak up, it's at least a first step by potentially spreading awareness. Someone who may be a LeBron stan might not be informed that XYZ is happening. And I think, Brandon is ultimately saying like, speaking up does count for something. Like, we want perfect people. We want people who be throwing checks and money and all of themselves and all of their resources. But in that same way, they are celebrities. Why is that any different from you taking a story that you've seen on your timeline and putting it in your story? Like, damn, I just thought people ought to know. Like, is that not within the realm of like, and you do it because you're a good person. You want to like, and you also do it to signal boost. You post that shit because it's important for people to know, but you also, we are virtuistic people and we want to signal boost virtuism to the people we're connected to. So a lot of times, not that we don't really genuinely care about shit, but we also post it so that people can see us being good people. People can appreciate the fact that we have a moral compass. People can understand that we have an ethical and moral and value-based foundation that, gets our attention so much that we have to share with other people. We want people to feel that about us. And so celebrities want that shit too. Look, I have a heart.
And it's
I have a soul. Bam.
And it's something to be said about somebody hearing something from somebody that they pay attention to that they wouldn't have heard otherwise. Like, it's something to be said about. There is value in that. So even though the commodification happens, they use it for their image or whatever else, it's good and bad and all of that. But transitioning to like the last part of the conversation, because we ain't trying to keep y'all too long. As a part of a part of the question that you had posed, as well as a part that we ain't really spoken on, is that there are politicians, there are celebrities who speak on shit. there are celebrities who are becoming more active in certain conversations.
Yeah.
And it's not helpful. It's just not. I see you know what? I'm not even gonna do too much to set it up. Stephen A. Smith, perfect example. I am on a anti Stephen A. kick. I'm not gonna lie to you. I usually don't get caught up in celebrity shit like that, Toy, you know that. But I really believe that Stephen A. Smith represents a very unique danger and a mindset that exists in Black communities that has to be pushed back against, right? And to get it started, I want to play. He's been on this little press run, going on podcasts. Now that he got his show Straight Shooter, he has a political show Straight Shooter, where he talks political shit. And hearing him talk political shit ain't did nothing but piss me off. Listen, I'm not a shut up and dribble type nigga at all. Stephen A. Smith needs to shut up about anything that ain't got to do with somebody getting off the weed.
Yeah.
If you ain't,
even that is political, so we don't want to hear your commentary about that shit.
Right. Well,
talk about the court or the field or the green or the I guess field can apply to multiple sports, but talk about that.
I mean, even though people accuse Stephen A. Smith of not even caring about sports, really.
Angel said Damo been giving Stephen the business, so clearly we know.
Yeah. I'm on it. I'm on it, and I want to show y'all what kind of kicked this off, because it, like, when y'all hear it, but I want to give it some deference, right? So we're gonna watch the clip, and I'm gonna pose the question, and y'all tell me, and y'all tell me if I'm tripping, you know what I'm saying, or what. So let me get the clip pulled up here, and we'll go from there.
For one election, I wish for one election that every Black person would vote Republican. What? How can he say that? I said, it's simple. Since 1964, the Black folk, we have been giving our vote to the Democratic Party at an exorbitant rate. Therefore, they know they got our vote, and they don't have to cater to us as much as we need them to. The Republicans know they'll never get our vote, so they don't give a damn about us. And as a result, we're the only community in America devoid of representation, which is why we're considered disenfranchised. I'm tired of that. What I want is to put ourselves as a community in a position where both parties have to work to get our vote.
So before I do what I do, I want to be partial. I want to be fair. We in the media, like you said, switch side.
Yeah.
Is Stephen A. making a good point? Is this an example of a celebrity getting involved in a political conversation and actually saying something that could be considered valuable?
You're asking me that?
I'm asking you that. Yes.
No.
And I'm asking the chat.
No. Your turn.
No, at least, but you got to explain, because you got to explain. Why not?
I think that there is contextless assertions about idealist ways that politics will work, and like the way that it would be easy to make decisions about who we supported or who we gave a chance to or who, but this is not unfamiliar territory, and there is a lot of baggage that is,
for him it is clear.
Yeah, and that's what that is. What, again, the detached kind of way that you were talking about and describing the chance that we even should think about fathoming giving to Republicans to give them an opportunity to earn our ballot, and like, it's gone. What are you? I don't know what else you feel like we need to see. I don't know what it is that you don't necessarily understand. I don't know who's paying you to peddle the just complete ignorance that you have about politics in the last, I don't know, since time started. But you trying to play with our intelligence, and it's the condescension, it's the tone, it's the, it just seems so obvious. The solution is so here, and we just keep playing into the same hands of Democrats. When it's all said and done, we're just not done. And I just hate when people who talk loud and talk hard to replace the fact that they're not talking about shit. And that's Stephen A. Smith par excellence. And that's where it just kind of gets annoying to me. So I don't have a lot of depth to add to it because I feel like he's attempting to kind of be overly intelligent and to orient us or reorient our eyes to understanding a part of the process that we're missing, or a glitch in the system, or a lazy analysis that we're doing about the Republicans and how, we already know that they're going to treat us, and the lack of hospitality and the lack of care, the lack of meaningful and intentional, you know what I'm saying? And like, then it's up to you, because we are not champions of the Democratic Party. It's not like they rolled out the red carpet and, you know what I'm saying, like sent the welcome wagon to Black people either, even though they've had the proficient job of selling it like they do, right? We get that. We understand we getting played over here too, but it's just two different demons, right? A demon versus the devil, I think, is the biggest distinction. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'd rather deal with a demon I know than the devil I don't. And I think that it makes it so easy for people to kind of pragmatize and realistically kind of think about what the Democratic Party does and does not, will and will not, what it has and has not done. Right. And set that next to the Republicans and very obviously say, that's not a gamble that I'm willing to take, you fucking idiot.
So before I get into how I feel about it, let's get into the chat. Free DNA said, who is he pandering to? That's a great question, because I don't understand. How else does that come off?
Yeah.
How else does that come off? Angel answered the question. She said, absolutely not. That shit he not making sense. Clear hidden agenda on his end. Is it hidden though? Is it hidden? And I keep saying this because y'all know this is my shit. So like, I hear Stephen A. Smith talking about, I'm a fiscal conservative, social liberal. Fiscal conservative, but a social liberal. Everything that nigga speak on is social, and ain't none of it progressive to any degree.
Come on, man.
I've never heard Stephen A. Smith talk about the budget. Ever. I've never heard him talk about government spending.
Come on.
Ever. But you call yourself a fiscal conservative and a social liberal because you know that's how. The reason why he does that is because the social liberal part is how he stays attached to Black people.
Yes.
Because Black people are, I would say, we're social, but we're actually socially conservative, politically progressive. Black people are socially conservative. Like, we got it. Like, we're spiritual, we're religious people. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a lot of conservative things that appeal to Black people socially. None of the politics appeal to Black people. None of the no conservative social politics appeal to Black people at all. It's all demeaning and demoralizing.
And
Brandon,
go ahead.
Who else we got here?
We got Fletcher Daniels. We got Brandon. We got a couple different people having a conversation in the chat.
GWM said it's really time for us to let Stephen be OJ. Hey, that's
right along.
Vegas girl said they have the ability every single election to get our vote. Talk about what we care about. Try that. And Stephen, he's not even putting that onus on them.
Because this is not even, it's not like the Republicans are running a party that is attractive to Black people, but we're just like so held on to the legacy of Republican politics that we can't let it go. Right? I think Black people, and that's the missed opportunity, because Black people are so thirsty for something different. Black people are constantly saying, don't fucking make us do this. We don't want to do it. We don't like it. We're not stupid. We see them playing our face too. We see the bullshit too. Give us something. Give us anything that appetites us in a meaningful and strategic way. That platinum plan that y'all had gallivanting around was full of shit. This is why Black people were not attracted to it. They were not willing to rally around it. And so it's not even so that the Republican Party is irredeemable. It's just like your messaging is so fucking bad. And also, the same playbook that you perfected on us, now you use and apply to other people. So we already know you're not ready to spin the block and actually care about Black people now, because you're taking the same shit you did to us and replicating the same kind of rules of democracy and multiculturalism and diversity. You're doing it to Asian folks. You're doing it to Latinx folks. You're doing it to Middle Eastern folks. You're doing it to everybody else. And so you haven't learned shit. So a lot of the fucked up oppressive shit you're doing, the cages you throwing people in the context of ICE, you'll just come up with some fancy names, some fucked up shit for us too. We're not buying it. So your messaging is bad. Right. But you change some of those things. Right. You reorient and kind of figure out and untangle some of that bullshit, and maybe you can have a chance to captivate a group of people who is looking for a new home.
And the message is directed to the wrong people. Like, Toya, why do we have to be lectured because conservatives don't, or because Republicans don't want to support social policies? Why are we getting lectured because Republicans want to take away people's health care? Why are we getting lectured because Republicans want to disenfranchise Black voters?
They don't know.
Why are we told that it's our voting habits that disenfranchises us, and not the fact that there is a cohort of people in leadership that are invested in giving us the short end of the stick? But let me be clear. Oh, sorry, I gotta open some apples real quick.
Open the
Say hi
apples.
to the people.
What's up, Hugh? Hello, Huey. How you doing?
There you go. Oh no, he done messed up my. I was in my
bag.
You know what I mean? Hold on, I gotta get the fire back. You know, his voice and everything. I gotta get the fire back. But why? Yeah, but it's like we get lectured because this is what I was about to explain. The Supreme Court literally just said that it is okay if black voters are inadvertently disenfranchised because the maps are based on partisan advantage.
Yeah.
And you're saying we should be like, yeah, I guess we'll vote for that just to give y'all a shot. Why isn't the demand that they actually work for it? Okay, you say Democrats need to work for it, but Republicans don't. I think that's a ridiculous statement. I think that's a ridiculous stance.
Absolutely.
And then we can even introduce like, this is why Killer Mike is getting the smoke that he getting. After we saw what happened with the Voting Rights Act, Killer Mike made a video with this organization like, we need to apply, we need to organize. They gutted the Voting Rights Act, they gutted, and it's like, brother, you brag about your relationship with Brian
Kemp regularly, tout it. It's important. It's very valuable to me. It's something that I really care. Like the way you even talk about the bullshit, bro. And that's what GW, I think is what we calling it. Said black people get money, and guys, because I started trying to read them all and skip letters and things, it's really ridiculous. Black people get money and forget that money does not insulate the rest of us, and that's how easy it is. That is the rules of capitalism. That's the stickiness of what happens when you get power, prestige, access, and when you get bread, you get so kind of forgetful about how hard it is to connect dots. You get so kind of mindless. You all of a sudden, you go to restaurants and don't have to look at the check. You go to the grocery store and don't really have to think a whole lot about it. You go get your gas and just fill it up until when the shit pop and stop, you take it out and drive away. And so the more detached you get to like the intricacies of why this shit is like this, because when you know why shit is like this, then you start asking questions about who allowed it to be this way. When you start figuring out who allowed it to be this way, you start asking about the infrastructure and, you know what I'm saying, the terms and conditions of a system that allowed these types of people to become powerful in the first place. You stay invested in those conversations. When you don't have to give a shit about none of that, you all of a sudden don't think and don't process the world like that, and you forget that other people still do, or that you are processing the world differently. That's a reality check. When I go back home to Kansas City, I have to remind myself that my California ass and my California way of thinking and my California way of doing and my middle class reality and, you know what I'm saying, like the 6-figure relationship I like, that's some different shit.
Different, yeah.
Then what's happening where I was born, and this is home. So this is a place that I take pride in, like being like, that's mine. But you got to be careful. Because as much as home is still yours, there's still a humbling that I have to do of myself when I get to the crib. Certain stuff don't work like that. Certain stuff ain't in the house that I grew up in. Certain expectations I have for how things move and how time flow and this and that. Like, it's just not the same. And I'm having to do that down here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. And just the slight differences and changes in my reality on a day-to-day versus where I came from and how I grew up. So imagine how much the standard and the bar, how higher it is for you to have to do that. Yeah. Not that I'm taking pity on you, right? But when you are of a person of status who has become just every single day that much far removed from all of the.
We from the hood, y'all, and where we live, like Toya grew up probably like
Max,
7 to 8 blocks. You was like 7 to 8 blocks from me.
Probably. Where was you at?
You stayed off Myrtle though, right?
Oh, that's where my granny stayed at.
Your granny stayed off Myrtle, yeah. So
your
granny stayed off Myrtle. My granny stayed off Myrtle, but closer down to the 31st, so off 28.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, I get it, but that's why I say, like, even from that standpoint, my politics aren't based on the life that I live now. You know what I'm saying? Like, I be having to pay taxes. I don't get refunds type shit. Like, my life, my life is not based off of where I've been able to get to. My life is based off of when I go back home in a couple weeks, my folk, you know what I'm saying? Like how they still living. You feel me? Like that's so. And this is why I say, as we kind of wrap this up, what I say is the difficulty of taking political advice from celebrities is that detachment. You like unless you can remove yourself as a celebrity from your celebrity and understand, like, when niggas rap about, like, I came from this and I came from that should still, if that could still be reflected in your music, that should also be reflected in your politics,
in your lifestyle.
Nigga,
Come
if
on,
you
man.
still talking about selling dope and you've
Come
been
on,
a
bro.
platinum artist for the last 10 years, you done went from label to label and got check to check, and you still talking about work.
Come on.
You still talking about street shit. Your politics could still reflect that then with all that money you got.
Come on, so you still, because if it's that authentic to you to make it into your shit, then like the whole full scope and scale of it got to be real to you too, right? Then why would it start? It's only real to you in the booth. That's like, nah, if that is really what you sell, if that's what you push and promote, is like a necessary. I don't want to hear none of that shit about reflecting and thinking back. If it's still good enough for you to put in something you put out today, you need to go back and be connected to people living that life today.
I'm tired of hearing it. Don't tell me you still rap about dope, because that's what you know and that's where you from. But your politics not reflecting that. That means that when you spinning, like when you thinking about when I'm speaking on politics, when I talk about Donald Trump, like the Nellies and all of these niggas at all of the world, when you talk about Donald Trump, it shouldn't be based on the fact that you a millionaire rapper. Because that your music ain't millionaire rapper music, unless you somebody like Jay-Z. That nigga don't talk about nothing but being rich. You know what I'm saying? And so when they building relationships, like Killer Mike building a relationship with Brian Kemp, it's like, bro, that makes sense to you because you got 5 or 6 businesses in Atlanta. There's a way that you able to benefit from conservative economic policies. Yeah. Niggas like you, niggas like me, I benefit more from Donald Trump tax plan than a lot of niggas that voted for him.
Come on.
You know what I'm saying?
Man. Come on, bro.
So what are you talking about? You know what I mean? So it's as much as we want to create that burden for them, I think the prerequisite to them participating in political conversations, speaking on social shit, is removing themselves from their current circumstances and remembering where the fuck they came from. Oops, sorry. Remembering where they came from. I got cut again. I'm not supposed to be cussing.
We know, we know. You don't know. We know. You don't know.
Like, yes. So but with that, Toya, anything you want to say before we get ready to close?
Comments is on to something here. Definitely shout out to everybody who's been talking back to us. Angel said we was friends before college. We've been friends since high school. I was 15, he was 16, which really, different lifetime, different world, and we've been somewhere connected in some type of way ever since then. So that's my dog, 1000%. Brandon said,
but we didn't go to the same school. We didn't go to was our school rivals, or it was just like I went to the hood school, Toya went to the college prep school.
I went to the hood college prep school. He went to the hood. We just laughed for the sake of being bad school.
I mean, it was in the hood. I'll give you that. It was in the hood. Lincoln is in the hood. My granny went to Lincoln.
Thank you.
But only because that was the only school that black people go to.
Parade Park. You gonna tell me I didn't go to school in the hood? I'm not letting you get that off. But my man's 100,000 grand. Let's see. And to be clear, I'm including their racist policies in their BS. I don't know who there is, but Brandon says the party can't platform the people while locking out entire groups of them. Half of his membership is based on race. I think we're talking about Democrats, obviously.
Yeah.
Then goes on to say, remember A$AP Rocky being surprised about getting locked up overseas because he was above his blackness. I do, right? And that was like, it's moments like that that's just like, we ate too much, but he was correct when he said, even if you a nigga in the Benz,
you still a nigga in a coupe
whenever you get done.
Man, Kanye.
Oprah got that rude awakening as well, buying bags in Switzerland. They let her know you don't mean nothing to me over here. It's 1,000 examples of the fact that your social standing only means so much to so many people. Hence why we talked about Black famous, right? Because it's a lot of people who know, you know what I mean? Like, I only have so much pull, so much reach, so much influence, for better or for worse, because don't everybody know me. You feel me? But those are calculations you need to make as you move about this world. Trev says, what celebrities can we shout out for doing the right things on the mic lately? Those who are setting the right tone for y'all. I don't listen to no new music for real. I ain't gonna hold you.
Yeah.
I'm in a repetitive loop of things that came out. I tried to give the Kehlani album a listen. It wasn't bad, wasn't like spectacular, but also had some bangers on it. It was cool, but nobody to, platform here in that regard. And then I'm just really bad on music. So
I mean, a part of the disconnect for somebody who's like kind of still socially there but it's not, it's just their music. It ain't even really his politics. It's like J. Cole. Like, bro, you too rich to you. It's like I see you still trying to J. Cole. Like he always gonna be my favorite, but it's like that last album, bro. It was like, bro, that was rich nigga deep thinking. Like that was,
I didn't even try. I didn't even try because I'm cool. Like, and that's what I mean. Like, and
it was like I was just so he can rap his ass off though. He was rapping his ass off, but it didn't connect though. It didn't register.
But this comes full circle to a conversation we had before. It's like, what do we want to hear from old niggas? What do we want to hear now that we've been able to see the longevity of hip hop? We made it to the 50th anniversary. I think this is year 51 for hip hop, and a lot of those icons are now 50, 60, 70 in the game. They feel like they still got something to add, but what do we want from them? Because rap has a certain veneer and a certain baggage, a certain history, a certain context that is of the struggle, that is of the rubble, that is, coming up from the ashes, that is constantly being influx to get there. But what happens when you're there? Do you still have stuff to rap about that we care about? If you're already like, out the hood, have a successful family, reverse generational curses, change it, because the average listener is not, they don't want to hear that shit. That's not what makes it to the top. That's also not what we want to consume. And so it's this really weird kind of paradoxical relationship between, the stuff that they put out and what lands and what doesn't, the content of it, whether it should be a life that they no longer live anymore, but representative of the life they do live. But do we want to hear about the life they live, or is that boring? Is that not hip hop? Is that not what we're willing to buy and pay into, is learning about investment stocks and bonds and shit between the crazy ass beat? Are we trying to learn about healing ourselves and finding a therapist finally at 45 and kind of figuring it out and growing and shit like that? Or is that not attractive to you and you want to hear murder, murder, kill, kill? Because I don't think there's a world where if the clips went away and came back just being like, out the cocaine game, man, that cocaine lame, like you would not listen to them niggas anymore. You would be done with them. So what do we want from these people as they get to a certain age and of a certain status in this world that will kind of give us something that soothes our ears and gives us the hip hop that we know and love? But another question becomes, what is that these days? One discussion that I want to get into, and I think I can't hear you, so you muted, I think. But
I was saying that's actually a great question for another episode for us to really dive into. What you just said, like what do we at? Like today we asking, what do we want socially, right? Like what do we want from them socially, but also like what in terms of y'all art, especially rap music, in terms of the art. And another thing that I want to get into in that same conversation is
Brandon said what we want from them. Brandon said what we want from them is to stop thinking they all need a podcast to talk about the same thing. What they do?
Hey, let the you know what I'm saying? Let the real commentators in the game, because they rappers and athletes and famous people have literally watered the podcast game down. Like it's not what it is.
What?
And then Free DNA said I'll be rapping about candles, patterns, and moving their
that.
See, that I know what he see. That's that market shit that he talking about. Like that's one of them stock niggas.
I mean, but listen, if that's what you is, if that's what's getting you going, right? Like each one teach one. Jump on the beat until the nigga has to diversify.
Yeah. But we appreciate y'all pulling up on y'all Saturday, man. I know you could be doing anything on your Saturday, but y'all chose to fuck with the chop up.
Why? Dang, I guess we didn't really get to the Justin video because I just want to see him yell at that white man again.
Oh, damn.
Yeah.
We
never played it.
We're gonna close it out on this. Justin Pearson.
Yeah.
I'm not leaving without it. Listen, we'll talk about it afterwards, but Justin Pearson. Everybody needs like that. The same way I was like Obama after the DNC. Justin Pearson needs to be one of the black politicians that we like. Hey, this young man needs our support. He in Tennessee, so it ain't a lot we can do, but we can signal boost the shit out of what they own. Because just a quick background: as soon as the Voting Rights Act was gutted, you had many states that immediately went to redistricting to gerrymander black minority majority districts, and Memphis is one of those places. And at one of the protests, Justin Pearson and them were being escorted out because they were protesting, and of course, that's what they do in Tennessee. And I'm gonna show y'all how Justin Pearson responded to it And this is like literally I made a TikTok video or a video on all type of platforms. I want y'all to go check it out. And I said, in a world full of Justin Pearsons, or in a world full of Stephen A. Smiths, we need more Justin Pearsons.
Yeah.
All right. In a world full of Stephen A. Smiths, we need more Justin Pearsons. Let me get this pulled up, and we'll be out of here at the end of this.
Yeah, we just gonna let the video drop, but thank y'all for watching. Thank y'all for coming in, talking to us, talking to each other. We love all of y'all. Angel, Trev, Vegas Girl, Free DNA, man, just everybody. Brandon, of course, Corvin Kent, whoever's up in here, man. We love y'all. Thank y'all. If you're catching this on the replay, leave some comments. Talk to us on YouTube. Talk to us wherever you're watching this, finding this Substack. And we want to stay connected. Watch this video, and we will see y'all hopefully this Thursday. But stay tuned to the channel, because we'll always tell y'all what the next step is going to be. Tell y'all when y'all can catch us. Be easy. Happy Saturday. Happy weekend. Peace.
All right, we out.
Y'all going? Let go. Let go. You got me all tied up. Now you got me all tied up. My brother ain't doing nothing to nobody. Hey, doing nothing to nobody. You don't walk out like that. Who the fuck that? Boy! What is wrong with you? What the fuck is wrong with you? You stupid motherfucker!
Yeah.